everyone. Today, September 20 and 2023 at 5:30 p.m. Call for order. Please join me to lead the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Phil?
Let's see, John Gary, I believe, is requested a excused absence.
Okay.
David Hayward.
Here.
Leanna Hahn.
Here.
Phil Reed is here. Rob Woods.
Here.
Stephen Heyer.
Here.
Jose Alaca.
Here.
Matt Blau.
Here.
And John Elke.
Here.
Good. We have a quorum, so I need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I move to approve the agenda.
Okay. I need a second, right?
Let's see, it was Leanna motion.
Yeah,
Still
motion?
working on a second.
Okay.
Right.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Who seconded it?
I missed 2 seconds.
I'll second it.
Pardon?
All right.
I'll second
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
David.
David. All right. So we approve the agenda. We don't have carryover or postponed agenda items, so we moving along to regular business. One, we have a request to approve the minutes from April 19, 2023, from John Elke. Okay.
We'll note that the correction needs to be made to the minutes as I misspelled Mr. Barry's name. John is with an H, not
Okay.
without, so.
Okay. All right. So we have to just make a correction there. Any other questions?
So we need a motion to approve the minutes.
Yes.
I move to approve the minutes.
As present. Okay. I need a second. Somebody would like to
I'll
second?
second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay. 2, review the 23-24 video center budget as of September 1st, 2023 from John Elke.
Included in the packet is the budget through September 1st at this point. We are still waiting for the final numbers for the 2022-23 budget that we have. We did get some numbers, but they were not finalized yet. So I was reluctant to present those at this meeting, but they will be presented at next meeting for the final numbers for 2022-23. I will note that at least looking at it, our addition to the fund balance will be more than the 22,000 that we had originally anticipated, just from lack of spending in some of the areas, but we'll be going over that in the next meeting. As you can kind of see, just through the actuals through September, not too much spending at this time, but we will have, that will be changing. So happy to answer any questions on any of the line items at this time.
Thank you, John. Any board members' comments? Or anyone? Anyone from the public? Any comments?
My question would be the T1 lines. They're still, the requested budget is still there, but supposedly, according to the minutes of April, they were supposed to stop in September.
Yep, that's what we'll be discussing today with the contract for Lingo Bullseye. So currently we still have the T1 lines. They are still active through October, actually. So we're still going to be paying those through October, but I can kind of touch more or go further detail into that with the agenda item later in the budget.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right. Okay, and, okay, we okay with the review, so we're going to, we can,
Move to approve the budget?
okay.
No action required on this
Motion
one, just
required in this
discussion.
one? Okay,
Okay.
okay, so we're moving along. 3, request to approve the contract with Lingo and Bell Cell. John, do that again?
Yeah, so this is kind of what you're talking about, Rob, with the T1 line. So just to give you a kind of a brief history, last meeting I brought up when we were talking about the budget that the T1 lines that we used for our encoders for AT&T will need to be replaced. AT&T is going to be discontinuing the T1 lines. And that's just simply the line that kind of sends our content, feeds the internet, you can say, to the encoder for AT&T. At this time, we had an agreement with AT&T to have a fiber connection sent to the school for a lower cost annually of what we're paying now from the T1 lines to replace these, which was great. But then we were informed on July 1st of this year, once we got the new equipment, that they conveniently forgot about a special construction fee of $60,000 that required 32 miles of fiber to be sent from their point of service to the schools. So once we got that information, we kind of had to start looking for other options as far as service. Luckily, my predecessor, Stefan, had kind of already started this process as far as looking into different methods of delivering our content through the encoders, through internet. So he had contacted the IT IT staff with the school district to kind of talk about the different possibilities of what we could do. Being that AT&T encoders are not really a trusted source, they get hacked often, and people don't want them on their networks because they're not very reliable in that sense, that they need to be off school network. So at this time, we went with a suggestion from the school's kind of preferred vendors of Lingo Bullseye to kind of help us craft some internet lines that we'd be able to replace the T1 lines with. Now, at this time, we will have, because of this, the T1 lines, like I said, are going to be discontinued beginning October 11th. So if this is approved tonight, we will have a lapse in service for our AT&T customers while this is being constructed. They anticipated 30 to 60 days to construct these two lines to replace the T1 lines, so we will have a little bit of downtime. If this is approved, we will do our due diligence to inform the public, just keep them up to date as far as the progress, and let them know that this is kind of coming down the pipe. So that's kind of what this contract would do, is just to construct a few lines for us that would be off the school network that we would still be able to feed to our encoders to continue service on AT&T. Looking at the price as well, it is a 3-year contract. I kind of consulted Mr. Heyer and Mr. Aliaga about how we approach contracts with ITV, as I wasn't too sure. It wasn't financially responsible to go with a 1 year, as it was much more. It was over $1,000 for 1 year compared to the $402 annually that we would be, or $1,000 a month compared to the $402 a month that we'd be paying for a 3-year contract. So there is benefits to kind of going in a 3-year contract. And currently we do have a similar contract with the T1 lines that we have currently. So this is kind of in kind, I guess, or very similar to what we have now. It's just at a far less cost point that we would never be able to get that money back from AT&T. Looking at our budget analysis, we talked with Rick over at the township to see how much we get in PEG fees from AT&T currently. Roughly, it's about $20,000 and some change a year. And if you take the $9,000 that we pay them essentially to broadcast out our content to them, it's about $11,000. So to make back that $60,000, it would take a number of years, not even including what would we be paying annually to do so. So looking at the options and talking with the IT staff with the school district and kind of consulting my predecessor and everything like that, this was the option that we thought was, one, financially responsible, but two, would be able to continue the service that we currently have with AT&T. So that's why I bring this to you, to kind of enter in that 3-year agreement to hopefully continue our service as soon as possible.
Now, wasn't there some conversation previously on the PEG fees kind of going down eventually over?
Yep.
So it kind of reevaluates, or solidifies your decision, so that that $22,000 is going to keep dwindling.
It will, yeah. It'll keep kind of going down. So like even to try and make up that money, it would take it would take us a very, very long time, and I don't even know if we'd ever see that day, to be quite honest. That might be a little harsh, but it just seemed like an insurmountable amount for a product that they're no longer really selling.
And this is specifically AT&T. This is not Comcast, where
Right.
the lion's share of the PEG fees.
Of course.
Correct.
Okay, any other questions from board members?
I guess the question, the advantage is not having any lapse in service. But are there other companies that do this as well? And did you have any other offers or?
We had a few different companies that we reached out to, but we never heard back from them. I took the recommendations from the school's IT person, mostly because we were kind of dealing in their zone and in their environment. So if they had a preferred vendor that had worked in that area, I kind of took that as
So they've had a good experience with this company?
yes, yep.
So you're saying this company was recommended by the school district?
It was recommended by the school district, yep.
Right.
I have a question regarding, so is the T1 is what currently you backhaul from your stuff to Movers?
Yes,
Okay. So this is just going to replace the T1?
correct.
Instead of AT&T dropping their own fiber, they're just going to provide a route
Yep.
basically to go back to Uvers for our channel. Got it.
Yep.
I move to approve the 3-year contract from Lingo Bullseye at $402 a month to provide a fiber connection to be used for Independence Television's content to AT&T.
I second that.
Okay, motion have made and second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. All right, next, we have a request to approve the phone tool live streaming quote. John, you're
So
again.
this is another thing that we've talked about for the last couple years now, and we're going to kind of try to move forward with it a little bit. Currently, Independence Television can be found on the Cablecast app. So on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, you can find us on there through the provider that we use, which is Cablecast, which is really great. Right now, currently though, it's just a video on demand platform. So it's great if you missed something or you wanted to catch up on stuff. Our whole library is available on smart TVs, which is wonderful. What this does is this is going to be adding our channels live on that application as well. So if you're watching a meeting live like this, you could log on to this app, find us, Independence TV, amongst all of the community media stations, click on the channel, and you get to watch live what's going on now. So this is something we kind of talked about of continuing kind of taking steps in the future to ensure that our content is in appropriate spots, not just cable, not just YouTube, but in as many places as we can to ensure that we're reaching the audience that we want to reach. This is something that would be, it's strictly an add-on from what we've already paid. If you look at the quote, the line item 3 is the annual fee that we'd be paying to kind of keep this service going. We pay a similar fee with Cablecast currently for our video on demand site and everything like this, so this would just be in addition to. I'm happy to answer any questions regarding the quote at this time.
Any questions, comments from board members for John?
Yes, so
Sure.
obviously, you'll have the meetings live and the games live, where there'll be still an effort to keep a recorded version of that?
Oh,
or-
yes, yeah.
Okay, because I see the
Recorded
value in
versions
both.
would still be
so-
uploaded as is, and they'll still be available on the application as they are now. This is just adding another function to the application, so not only can you see the recorded versions, but you can see what's going on live at that time. And the great thing about this is not only would it be on the application, we can put it on our website as well, so it would be a live button right on independencetelevision.com. So you just click that, and then you can watch everything going live at the time too. So kind of looking at what we were talking about our last agenda of lapse in service, there would be availability to watch live programming through our website. So hopefully kind of filling that gap, I guess you could say, or helping fill that gap.
Especially if you love seeing our slides in between programs. Now you can see that 24/7.
I have your app on my phone and on my Roku. so-
See, there we go.
Okay.
So I guess my next question would be that these streaming services are selling advertising.
Not on this. To my knowledge, there's no advertising being sold on these streaming services. So with this streaming service, it is an application where you type in your zip code. Once you type in your zip code, a plethora of community television stations will pop up. You can select which one you want to view, and it'll take you to their page. And on that page, you'll have, currently on ours, it's a video on demand library. So we have it broken down into categories of trustees, school board, high school sports, and such like that, where you can kind of find the program you're looking for, and the newest one is kind of put up front, and so on and so forth. So it kind of mimics almost like a YouTube page in a sense, where you can kind of go to that page, see everything there. There's no advertisements spliced into the programming, though, like YouTube. So at least not at this time.
So we're paying them, and the value is for the viewer, but there's no value being generated to the...
Not at this time,
streamer.
no. So, and we wouldn't be getting any revenue from this platform yet. And I say yet because I anticipate that this is kind of where we'll be going eventually down the road. This seems to be the way that broadcast and television is going. This is kind of a first step to get us there. So when eventually this, in my opinion, eventually when this happens, when streaming is it is already primarily the way of media, but we would be there. We'd be at the front door. So we'd be available. So if anything did happen, say tomorrow, PEG fees completely shut off, cable's done, our channel is still being broadcasted out live through this application and through our website. So it's at least in my opinion, a good step to ensure that we're kind of proceeding to the future.
And forgive me, how long is the Film Tools?
Film Tools, this will be annually. So the upfront cost is just one, but the annual cost would be line item 3. So it's something that we'd pay annual. No contract entering. It's just be annual payment of service until if we want to discontinue it, we could.
I move to approve the quote from Film Tools totaling $13,220, directing the station manager to sign necessary paperwork to begin the upgrade of Cablecast equipment to provide live streaming on independencetelevision.com and the Cablecast app.
I'll second that.
So motion has made and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, lastly, update the ITV production status. John?
Thank you very much, Mike, for allowing me the opportunity to share what our staff has been up to. Thank you very much for the discussion earlier on the agenda items. And nice to bring those things to you guys and be involved in what we're doing. I really enjoyed the discussion today. I'm going to start out with our quarterly report. A lot has happened since April. It's September now, so forgive me if this is going to go a little long, but we have a lot to kind of cover as far as what we're going on. Hopefully you guys have been following us on our socials and kind of see daily what we've been kind of putting out there. Easy peasy, ITBZ, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So serving the community, as we kind of discussed with cable, we're in the process of updating those T1 lines to fiber connections. Currently, we're having no problems with AT&T. The encoders are, working great, which is wonderful. It does say lines were to be shut off September 15th. That's incorrect. We actually got an extension to October 11th at this time. So originally, when we got the notice in July, they wanted to shut them off in a month, and kind of were baffled by the fact that we couldn't get approval right away for $60,000 from anybody to do that. So we've been getting extensions as we've been kind of working with AT&T at this time. With the live component, we're looking for a new hotspot connection to help us broadcast out live productions. We've been trying different hotspot kind of tools and methods to broadcast out live. But, I mean, from a plus side, one thing that we did do this past May is we did do our first live production over Wi-Fi from on location, which is something that we had not, at least since I've been here, had not done. It's a little scary, but everything kind of worked out well. It was a secure network, no one else was on it, so we were able to kind of utilize a nice network, but it's not something that we can continue to rely on moving forward. We have had to try that with our 4th of July parade and stuff like that, and it didn't prove to be successful. So that's something that we're looking into right now to continue our live productions, which we love doing on location, but to do so we need to find a better hotspot connection, because relying on the internet sources that we have around us for downtown, Clarkston, and such like that have just proven to be unreliable at this point. And online, our website at independencetelevision.com has seen a growth in visitors and return visitors since we started hosting the podcast Connecting Clarkston. In August, we saw an increase in page views, first-time visits, and returning visits. So I'll kind of dive into this a little bit more. I touched base on it at our last meeting, but since we've been hosting not only the podcast, but also linking our YouTube page and video on demand site to the page on the website. It's become a kind of the return spot for viewers and listeners for this podcast, which is nice. Dive into a little bit of productions here. I'm going to start off with Independence Fest. It was a wonderful time again from Independence Fest and Independence Day Parade. I can't stress enough how much how proud I am of the staff and what they were able to accomplish from that July 1st and July 4th. I say all staff members contributed to this full coverage of the day and the parade. We incorporated the jib at the parade, which we've done in the past. We did it again this year. It was mixed results. Our receiver, I'm not sure if it was a really hot out or something like that, but we were getting some interference from the jib. So we had to kind of be careful of when we took it, but we had Matt on the TriCaster back there. He was really great at kind of monitoring that and taking it when we could, but it was a great component to add into the parade. Matt Legato and I both we all acted as judges for a contest this year, and we kind of saw that being utilized in parades, and we thought, well, why not? We got one. We can give it a shot. So we wanted to try it and have some fun, and it was fun. We had a great time. So I think moving forward, hopefully we can do it again. As long as we can secure that connection from the receiver to the transmitter, we should be good to go. So I will say that Matt did stay later on the 4th of July to help process our 4th of July parade. As noted, we did have some problems where we had to abandon our live stream during the parade because our internet connection that we did have suddenly disappeared. And we kind of spent most of the parade trying to establish a new connection, which did not prove to be successful. So kudos to Matt for staying later afterwards, after the parade, to get a recorded version up on YouTube right away. We saw increased views on that. I think it's a great idea and just a great job by him to kind of serve the community in that manner rather than waiting until Tuesday, Wednesday, or whenever it was to get that up and going. So kudos to him. And just from the programs that we did see an increase in views from this year to last year for the Veterans Ceremony and fireworks, which were recorded by our summer intern, Tanner. As you can kind of see in that lower picture, he did a great job. To go along with the promotional video that we did with Independence Fest, the Veterans Ceremony that we recorded, the Independence Day Parade, and fireworks, Hunter Valenzuela and Michael Rosenkrantz did an in-depth kind of documentary about Independence Fest, where they kind of walked around and talked to different people about the different facets of the festival, talked to the Parks Department about the history of Independence Fest, and just kind of did a larger scale video about the event in total. All in all, I thought it was a great job, great video by them, and something that will hopefully last for a number of years kind of moving forward. But they put in a lot of effort for this video, and it really showed. So if you haven't seen it yet on our YouTube page, I highly recommend it. It was a nice video of the event and really encapsulated everything quite well. The Clarkston Community Awards. So our staff helped broadcast out live. This is the event that we did over Wi-Fi, which was great for us because there was no other option. So it was that or nothing. But it went well. We had 4 staff members there to kind of help out from cameras, TriCaster. We ran the slideshow. In addition, our staff, as we have in the past, we continued to produce videos of the winners that were played during the program. Then these videos were then shared on our social media page throughout the week afterwards, kind of celebrating the ceremony, but also linking back to the ceremony on YouTube. So we kind of use these videos as quick little small hitters. They're about 2 minutes or so that we're able to use on social media as well to kind of engage a different audience. So it was, I'd say all around, we did, I was very happy with how this went. The committee with the Clarkston Community Awards was very happy with our production and everything like that, and we'll be back again next year. We've done this for a number of years, and it's something we hope to continue to keep doing. So this was another great live event that we got to kind of help out. And I'll kind of pass it over to Matt to talk about this next one because we also did graduations from now until then. The PM media production staff, they did a great job. We were out at Pine Knob again, kind of setting everything up. Staff kind of came in early to help set that up, run tests and everything like that, and then students kind of took the wheels from there. So that was I'd say semi-stressful night for staff, the Clarkston High School graduation, because we also had a trustee meeting the same night. So our staff was kind of spread very thin as far as making sure that we had live audience and live production from high school, but also the trustee meeting that was going on at the same time. From what I saw when I could peek into both broadcasts, everything seemed to be going smoothly. So there was no hiccups or anything like that. And I mean, not everything goes perfect in production. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, but there was no large alarms going off, which was great to see. So I'll hand it over to Matt to kind of talk a little bit more about graduations.
Sure. The tough part of graduation is always that I have a lot of seniors in my advanced class, and for obvious reasons, the seniors can't help with graduation. So I always have to lean on my underclassmen, sometimes in that advanced class, sometimes in my introductory class, to kind of step up and help out. And luckily we had solid crew numbers for both events. Renaissance is obviously a little shorter graduation at the junior high, and of course the other one is at DTE, now again Pine Knob. But yeah, they both went pretty well. We've done it, a few times now, so we're getting the hang of it, but it's always a little scary because it's, high profile live event that we have the most eyeballs on. But yeah, the students stepped up. Even though staff was a little divided, we got both live events done. It's pretty rare. We've probably only done 2 simultaneous live events a handful of times, but it's always nice when John can take a peek at the graduation, we can take a peek at the township board and go, yep, both are going right. Cool. But yeah, that's all I got for graduation.
And this is what I'm kind of most excited to talk about everything's been great so far, but we ran our summer media camp for the first time since 2019 at the end of July. This was brought up to you guys at the last meeting. So we had 10 campers in total, which is the number that we wanted to hit, minimum, which was great. Especially it was our first year that we charged for the media camp, so we weren't sure how things were going to be going from that perspective, but from what we kind of detailed from the 3-day camp, we were very pleased with how everything went. We also agreed that 3 days is plenty, and we don't need to do any more than 3 days moving forward. And so, but that said, the activities, campers got to create a podcast. They did weather reports, sports reports. They did a news broadcast in the studio. We had a drone demonstration, a social media takeover with Hannah, GoPro demonstration. We had a pizza party, and then the registration also included entry to Movie in the Park, which we partner with Independence Township Parks and Rec that we did just one this year, which was great. So all of our campers that did come, they got to come in for free to the event. They brought their families and stuff like that, so we kind of helped boost a little bit of the registration with that event and got some new people in, which was wonderful. And not only that, they came, the parks did a great job of having a ton of games out, things for the people to do while the movie was getting ready. And it really made it an event this year, which was wonderful to see. But the kids got to help us set up the screen, which was great. They loved that. We had a beautiful sunset to kind of close out the day. It was a picture earlier in the presentation I kind of roll back to a little bit, but so this was the look over Deer Lake Beach with our Movie in the Park. So it was just a wonderful summer night. But all in all, the kids had, I feel like, a great time. You'll kind of see down there at the footnote, like I said, this is the first year that we chose to charge for it. We charged $85 per camper with $10 going for Movie in the Park. So it was $10 kind of shaved off right at the front. We didn't have to, but we prorated 2 campers that weren't able to make it one day due to a medical emergency, but they came the next 2 days. So we kind of shaved a little off the registration fee to make it worthwhile. But the most important thing, I guess, for us and staff, it wasn't about making money, but we wanted to make sure that we were not selling ourselves, I guess, too short on the commitment that we were making. So with everything that brought in this past year, we did budget $2,000 for media camp to be used for everything like that. With all of the registration fees and even through expenses, additional time, staff, and pizza, we still made nearly $200 on camp and didn't have to dip into that $2,000 that we budgeted. So camp was a plus from a financial side. It was a plus from the camp side. The kids had a great time, and I've got a video that I'm going to show you just to kind of give you a full encapsulation of what it was.
in case you missed it.
Which park was this at again?
Say that again.
Which park was this?
This was at Deer Lake Beach, is where we had the movie in the park. So we had,
Right, but
we,
the 3-day camp was...
Oh, the 3-day camp was at the studio. So we did it at the Independence Television studio at the high school. So we met the kids outside and their parents each day to kind of check them in at the front entrance, and then walked them into the studio. Then we kind of had a briefing, and then we went off and did our activities for the day. The first day it was great, but it did like downpour rain, so like getting the kids back out to the cars was a mess, to say the least, but they had a good time. So here's a small little video, like I said, just to kind of give you a full view of what we got to do at Media Camp.
Hello, citizens. I am Sean, and welcome everyone to Breakfast, Lunch, and Dinners. We'll talk about today's weather, and today there's going to be meatballs in New York and burritos in Mexico. And watch out for salads and tornadoes in Canada. Finally, today the weather will end tomorrow. Shakespeare. I tried to avoid him when he's dead. Sadly.
I swear word.
So, how do you think this meat? Yes, yeah, it's really good.
So that was camp this year. It was a lot of fun. We had a blast, and we're looking forward to next year, and hopefully we can kind of keep this format down where we can kind of partner it with movies in the park and kind of make that a theme going forward, because I thought it was a perfect tie-in. So yeah, looking forward to this is Tanner. He was our summer intern from Clarkston High School. We also had a college intern, Matthew Marinick, for a few weeks. He wasn't able to help out too much, but when he was here, he did quite a bit. So it was nice to have him. He was also a former student of Matt's as well. Tanner assisted with, you saw in the media camp, he repainted our green screen. In this picture you can kind of see, which was the big thing that we were hoping to get done. He also recorded the fireworks for Independence Fest. And then Matthew covered multiple meetings. He produced videos for Concerts in the Park series and the Milo Project, both in Depot Park. And the big thing that they did together is they both teamed up to produce a video for Harmony in the Park. Tanner did all of the interviews, and then Matthew did the B-roll. And then Tanner put together the video afterwards. So they kind of teamed up without any full-time staff there. They just kind of did it on their own, which was kind of nice to see. We always like to have an event for our interns at the end of summer where they're off on their own after we've kind of prepped them on equipment and everything like that, get them a little more comfortable. But to really have them go to an event, learn how to conduct an interview, get B-roll, and produce a video all by themselves. So they did so, and it turned out great. So I was very happy with having these guys around. Tanner still is quite involved, as he's a senior this year for us, so you'll be seeing more of him as the days go on. Looking at the public side, since April, this is kind of what I was talking about with Connecting Clarkston. It was the podcast, so in April they had just recorded their first episode and had one kind of coming on the way. As of this meeting, they have published 11 episodes and have at least 16 total recorded. So they have come in fairly regularly. They usually record multiple episodes at a time with their studio time, which is great. And one of the best things, or one of the nice things that I see, is not only do they link our website to any postings that they have when it comes to the release of each episode and stuff like that, but they tag us on social media, they include us, they check in, they take pictures in the studio. They're very involved and very active, which is great from our standpoint, because it gets our name out there to potentially a newer audience or people that might not be too aware of us. So they've been wonderful to work with, and they've really taken off since the first episode. I'm really looking forward to see what kind of comes of this as we keep going. But the guests have been good, very nice topics and everything like that. And it seems like they've kind of found their footing. So, and you'll find them everywhere. They're very involved. They're at a ton of events and everything like that. Great people to talk to. And like I said, the one thing that I very much enjoy is they are not shy to say, we did this at Independence Television. And they always praise what a wonderful resource this is when their guests come in and everything like that. So they're good advocates for us at ITV, which has been wonderful to see. You can also find them on Spotify as well. They just got on Spotify too. So, but it's been a great public show to kind of keep going, and look forward to seeing what it is in the future. But you can see some other events that we've done from the public side of things. Chamber of Commerce ribbon cuttings have increased since April. We've done a lot more of them, which is great. Even compared to last year, we've been kind of more included in a lot of conversations with the Chamber. They've been inviting us out to more events and everything like that, and the ribbon cutting videos have been doing very well. Those are also great videos that we found that are introducing us to new members of the community. Businesses have loved them. They request to have the links so they can put them on their pages and everything like that. It's just been a great event to keep going and keep publishing. So we've done a lot with Clarkston Area Youth Assistance as well, with some seminars we did over the summer. We did partnered with the library to do a few of their summer lecture series as well, which was great, and their events, of course, all throughout the summer that we typically do. Same with the Chamber and Parks and Recs, which I'll get into. So the education side, I'll pass this off to Matt, but I just wanted to kind of touch base on some stuff that we got to do. So since April, we got to do 4 board meetings, board candidate interview session, also broadcasted live an exchange student panel, senior awards ceremony, senior walk, military signing day, teacher of the year ceremony, soccer game, volleyball match, lacrosse game, and we've got a couple football games under our belt, including the battle at the Big House that we did this past year with 2 announcers this year, which was wonderful. It was a little bit different. Last year it was just Michael and I, and this year we brought along Jeff, who was a PM student last year. He's starting up at Eastern Michigan this year, but he wants to pursue sports broadcasting, and he called us up and said, hey, do you have an extra spot for me? He called our lacrosse game last year, and we said, yeah. So the 2 of them got to kind of do a broadcast live as they both went off to college. So it was great for their resume building, and they, geeked out themselves a little bit of just having the opportunity to kind of live their dream a little bit that day. So I'll let Matt kind of touch on this last point here. It's the student showcase that the PM media production class did at the end of the year, which I thought was a lot of fun, but I'll have him go into more detail.
Sure. So in my advanced class, we tried a new project second semester of last year that I'm calling the Showcase Project. This is the advanced class, so they're kids that have already demonstrated a certain mastery of skills, a certain interest in the subject. Kind of divided the class in 2, and they were tasked to just make a good video. I gave them certain technical parameters, but overall I said, make something good. One group made kind of a documentary on student life. The other one made more of an intense drama dealing with like death and things like that. We had a little showcase where some of the family got to come and check out those films. We even had the lit and film class kind of watch them in their class and kind of give a little bit of feedback on the films as well. So that was a kind of fun way to conclude things. In terms of this year, obviously we're still kind of in the early stages of the school year. Some students hit the ground running, some students a little less so, but hopefully as we're all warming up, that'll improve. One great thing that's happened so far is, well, my advanced class is a little small this first semester, so we're going, oh man, it's going to be a little tough to do certain games, but I reached out to my media production students, my intro students at Clarkston and at Renaissance High School to see if some of them could help. And sure enough, some of them stepped up. So I think for the first time, not only did I have Clarkston PMTV students, but I also had Clarkston media students and Renaissance media students all help on I think it was the first home football game where they all kind of got to collide. So it's kind of nice when the worlds of the intro class, the advanced class, Clarkston and Renaissance all kind of get to work together there. So that was cool to see, and looks like it might be something that's somewhat ongoing. Aside from that, we're trying to start a club this year. We're going to start Clarkston's AV Club this year. My hope there is that can not only give something for our students that are already involved in my classes to do, but I think that also might be a way to kind of advertise the class and get students that don't take my classes already to get a chance to meet me and see what I'm all about. So hopefully that can improve some numbers in the future. The paperwork's still going through, so it's not officially approved yet, but we're going through that process. And I'm hoping that club is going to be kind of part filmmaking, part film watching and critiquing. There's also a chance that the club and or classes will do some field trips maybe to like MJR and see a movie and have a discussion on it. Those are kind of things that we have in the works, but haven't taken place, at least as of yet. Aside from that, I think we've done, I think we did volleyball, football, boys soccer, and tomorrow we got girls swim and dive. And then the next couple weeks are football, leading up to homecoming week, which we normally do the Monday girls powder puff, and then Friday boys homecoming football game. I like to do one sporting event a week. If we can, I like to spread the love a little bit to all the sports, especially the ones, unlike football and basketball, that maybe don't have the biggest attendance comparatively. So I like that we've got to hit a couple different sports. And yeah, I would overall say so far so good.
From the government side, we got to kind of do a few different things that we've been doing. We started a new video series featuring different departments across Independence Township. The first one will be, it says published now, but it's not. We're still in revision process right now, so it'll be coming out next week. But the first department video that we're doing is about the assessing department. So it's just typically what we'll be shooting for is about a 5 to 7 minute feature on each department, just kind of going over what they do and introducing the public to who they are, and just act as an information piece for the residents. Very happy with how this one turned out. It's going to be a good one to start off, and look forward to kind of continuing this on through the year, along with all of the multiple parks and rec stuff that we do, because we do a lot of events with them, and we like doing it. But we got to do the supervisor update in the studio with Jose to inform the public about the change in hours in the township for the pilot program. But also we got to work with Springfield Township, who provides us with peg fees each year. They call us up for a few events a year, and Matt Legato would help them out with a ceremony that they had going on, and we have another event coming up with Springfield Township at the end of the month. So kind of happy that relationship is still going strong, and we're still able to help them out in the ways that they're looking for help. We also got to do, and this got brought up at the last meeting as well, but the No-Haz Consortium at Pine Knob covered that event, and also kind of used it as an information piece for all the future drop-off sites and locations and times across the county. So that was something fun to do. It was nice informational video piece. So hopefully in the next week or so, you'll kind of see our first video for this video series, and something we keep continuing throughout the year. At this time, I'm looking to do at least one a quarter, roughly, just because they are extensive videos, but we also like to kind of work on them in between all the projects and everything like that, just so there's not too much going on all at once. But it is a nice video to kind of just slow burn, I guess, put on the back burner a little bit and work on it when you can. So excited about that one. Social media, I'll touch on, as always, Hannah Gray is amazing. That should be the end of this report, but I'll go into it a little bit more. Page visits on Facebook, since these are all since April, have increased. Page visits have at least increased 100% since April. In addition, with the page reach increasing 30% during this time. Instagram, just as much. Followers increased at least 30% by April. It was a little bit more than that. We gained 54 new subscribers. On YouTube, on Independence Television's page, because just as a reminder, we do manage a number of YouTube pages across from Independence Township, Clarkston Community Schools, the announcements page, Independence Television, but for this metric, it's just Independence Television's page, as that's where a majority of our videos go, aside from live sports. That goes to the community page. But Michigan Moment, which I love that program. Matt and Hunter do an amazing job on it. We saw an increase of viewership on those, the last 3 episodes, or 3 of the last 4 episodes now, that had at least over 180 views and some over like 300 views. I'm not sure how they found us, because typically they were getting like 30, 40s here and there, and then we just got a spike out of nowhere for a couple months, which was great to see. I kind of give credit to Matt and how he crafts the thumbnails for each video and the titles to make them unique, interesting, and kind of pleasing to catch right away. I think he does an amazing job of kind of making that a really good program, not with just great information, but the way he writes the scripts are just very unique and catching. So it was great to kind of see that show that we produce kind of take off on YouTube and find an audience. Hopefully we can keep it going. But no rhyme or reason, just good content and good views. So happy to see that. Lastly, our Clarkston High School football season preview video. It saw over 300 impressions on Twitter or X, which was wonderful, along with an additional 3,000 views on Facebook in August. So it's our highest engaged video across Twitter at this point. We don't use Twitter as often just because of the inconsistency of which we're able to post videos and content. It makes it really difficult to kind of make that uniform with what we're doing on Facebook and Instagram. So it is a area that we found high school sports is a great audience for that platform, and that's what we primarily use it for. So having the opportunity to kind of put those videos out there, put our links for live events out there, tag all of the teams and schools and stuff like that, we found that's a pretty good use of this platform. So and one thing that I'd like to mention as well, especially with our social media that we've seen increase over the last few months, is a lot of people are starting to share our content, check in with Independence TV, post photos at our studios and share it and tag different people. There was one day I was scrolling, I opened up the feed and scrolling down, and it was one organization, ITV stuff, next organization, ITV stuff, next organization, picture with ITV. It was kind of neat to see that our socials are starting to kind of pick up a little bit. Not that they were down ever, but the people are sharing our stuff and people are checking in, and they love coming to the studio and taking pictures and saying that they were there and stuff. They think it's just the coolest. So it's kind of neat to see these different organizations, businesses, people around the community take notice and kind of share our content. So it's just something I kind of saw the last few months that's been increasing and hopefully continue. So nice to see from social media. So that's my report. If you have any questions, be happy to answer them.
I do have a comment, though. John, you have done a great job, and I working closely with you in many projects that you had. I'm glad that finally we're having all the departments. I know we're starting with assessing, which is going to be good information for our local residents. Sometimes residents come and want to know how we assess the taxes and property taxes, summer and winter. It's important, and I think this video is gonna bring a good information for the public. And our TV station, or it's gonna be in YouTube, it's gonna be in our TV, so people will have that. And even if you miss it on TV, we'll be able to search on YouTube. Oh, okay, that's how taxes work, and it's gonna bring good information. But also, it's gonna be information for each department in the township, for Parks and Rec, what are the parks, where are located, how it works. Or other department like building, zoning. So it's going to be a really nice information for the public. So thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions from board members?
Fine job. I mean, binge watching Michigan Moments,
It's a
You can
good
just
program.
binge
I
watch
love
and
it.
just-
And
You can learn so much about the state of Michigan. It's startling what we don't know about our own state.
Sure. Okay.
It is fun. You're right, it is well written, and easy. It's good content. It's,
I
it's
agree.
good content.
So, Rob, are your show is coming anytime soon on TV, or?
I don't know, live TV is hard, Jose.
Okay, I know.
Live
I know.
TV is hard.
I know.
But, you know, you witness these guys talk about doing their live shoots, how difficult it is. And it is very difficult.
Okay, I guess we don't have more questions, right? We're not making any motion, nothing. This is just an update,
Just
right,
an
John?
update.
Just an update. Okay, and we finished with John's presentation. I think we don't have more comments or questions, so we're moving to public comment. Yeah,
Right.
public comment. Please, Laura, introduce yourself and your
I'm
address.
just here to introduce myself tonight. My name is Laura Haynes. I am the new Public Information Officer for Independence Township, so essentially all the communications and things like that. Little background on myself. I have extensive experience in communications for state senators, state representatives, quasi-governmental nonprofits, things like that. I am also a 2004 graduate of Clarkston High School and am raising my children here. They go to Independence Elementary. I love the area. I'm thrilled to be here. You will see me on occasion at your meetings. I'm going to be at all of the different committees and boards and things like that, along with chamber events. John and I have run into each other, 4 times now in the last month at chamber events. Just all sorts of different things you will see me at, trying to get out, trying to talk to people and kind of learn what everybody does. I will say, I've experienced a lot of local governments. I worked for a board that had 18 mayors and supervisors as their board of directors. The operation that you guys have here with Independence Television is second to none. It is impressive. I have never quite seen anything like it, and I worked in Wayne County with some really big communities. And I'm really proud that we have this, and I am just thrilled that this exists for our community. And I think it's phenomenal, and I can't wait to work with you all more. So thank you again. I'm at the township every day, and I'm going to be, like I said, out at events, and I hope to run into you all. So thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Okay. Anyone else? No? Okay. Moving along, board member comments. Anyone? John?
I have a few comments, just following up on some things, or to give you a few dates to kind of keep in mind. So October 1st, we'll be at the Taste of Clarkston, not only filming the event, but we'll have a booth there as well. That's what these footballs are here for at your table, as a kind of some of our fun little giveaways that we'll be doing at the booth to just kind of get our name out there and reintroduce ourselves to the community and just kind of be a part of it. So along with the covers that we normally do at the Taste of Clarkston, we'll also have a booth there to kind of just have some fun that day. Currently, we are looking at doing an open house on Friday, October 13th. I believe that's Friday, October 13th.
That sounds right.
That sounds right. Homecoming football game.
Yes.
So this year, Independence Television is celebrating 10 years since the intergovernmental agreement between the township and the school. So we decided to kind of try to do another. We've done open houses in the past, but to do another one to kind of celebrate 10 years. And when we were talking as a staff, we thought a great opportunity would be to do one before a football game. 5:30 to 7 is what we're going to be doing. I'll email this information all out to you, but I wanted to at least say this as we confirmed it today. But we'll open up the studios, kind of show how our production works, and hopefully get some people that are in, for the homecoming festivities into the studio, but then end it right in time for kickoff so you can go and enjoy the game. So we're going to be having, refreshments. Everything will be open. All staff will be there. We'll just have a wonderful time just kind of saying hi to everybody. So a good celebration of 10 years of success of Independence Television, and what a way to do it with putting our best foot forward from a production standpoint with a homecoming live broadcast. So I'll send out the information to the board. Like I said, once we have the flyer created and everything solidified, we'd love to have you all there just to check it out. The Wolfie costume will be available, so if you want to dress up, help bring people in, let me know. And that'll be a great resource. And lastly, I wanted to let you guys know that I found out yesterday that I was chosen by the Alliance for Community Media. It's a national organization that kind of supports community television stations across the United States. Yesterday I was informed that I was chosen to attend their Emerging Leaders in Community Media Institute through the month of October through virtual seminars. So this would be an opportunity for me to grow as a leader in community media, but also to kind of help my staff and kind of learn the different new methods and everything like that across community television throughout the United States of America. So it's a competitive institute at this time. I was happy to be selected and happy to bring back what I learned to the board once it's completed. So just some fun news I got just yesterday. Just wanted to let you guys know before we let everybody else know. So.
Very good.
The only thing I want to add is going with the township's PR person is we already talked to the school's PR person plenty. We think we can always be a good back and forth. So if there's ever a time, you know, we're a phone call or email away to say, hey, the township wants to do this. I get texts from the school's PR person, hey, we're thinking of this video. Maybe there's even something the school, township, all of three of us would maybe sit down and collaborate on. That's a possibility as well. But it's always nice to have other people that are kind of in that similar space that we're in that we can kind of collaborate with. So looking forward to it.
And then, John, you reached out with some nice surprise news. The station in, I don't remember what state it was.
Yeah, it was
now.
Wisconsin. They found Picasso, painting with Picasso's Grapevine, on our YouTube page and asked if they could start playing it on their cable channel. They just stumbled upon it randomly and asked if they could do it. And so I reached out to Matt and Leanna to see if that was okay, and they said yeah. So that was
a nice out of
yeah.
nowhere. So
I come from Wisconsin, but I didn't know this person, so it was kind of a weird connection out of. I was like, "How did you find it?" He's like, "Oh, I just found it. I was perusing YouTube one day, and it popped up, and it seemed like a great program to play." I was like, "Yeah, it is." So yeah, that was a neat little surprise find that our programming is kind of. Across state lines a little bit.
yeah, we had I think it was over 50 episodes.
I think it was,
It was quite a bit.
I feel like it was right above or right below. I can't
Yeah,
remember
very
now.
close.
Award-winning program, by the way, too.
Yeah, one award.
Yeah.
Award-winning.
And,
Painting with
okay, I will
Picasso.
take a look. One cut, all 50 episodes. One cut, so. Never bloopered, so.
Awesome.
Okay.
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay. Those in favor? Aye.
Hey.
Any opposed? Okay.
Congratulations, John.